Hey Flosstube, I am Danielle and this is my channel Love and Stitchin', a channel all about cross stitch. Today is Thursday, January 17th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 17. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and visiting my channel. I hope you see something that you like. I just appreciate everyone who has also followed along throughout the entire journey of Flosstube with me. It's been a lot of fun. So it has been about 3 weeks since my last video, and I have definitely been stitching as much as possible. I've had a little bit of a break with work ish. I'd say I had like a week where things weren't as busy, and then things are kind of picking up, and then kind of just ebbing and flowing right now. So trying to get in some stitching where I can, a little bit of finishing too. I've not been as motivated with the finishing as I normally am. I've actually seen a lot of fellow stitchers who are also kind of going through that as well, where we just want to stitch as instead of like finish, or just not having as much motivation. So I'm trying to do things in pieces so I can hopefully still squeeze in some finishes here and there. So I do have a couple of those, as well as some not fully finished pieces and stitching. Not much going on besides work and life. This past weekend we got to celebrate my second niece's 13th birthday, so that was a lot of fun getting together with the family. Since we were sick the whole month of January, we haven't seen everyone all together really since Christmas, so it was really nice just to get together. And then I've got a birthday coming up in the next week, and so my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and niece came to have lunch with us on Sunday, so that was also nice. So it was just a really good family weekend, which is great. And then we had Valentine's Day, so I hope everyone had a great Valentine's Day. And we didn't really do a whole lot for us. My husband got my daughter and I flowers, which was super sweet. And then my son went out into some bushes and cut down some bushes, or pieces of the bush, I guess, in our yard. And he wanted to put those with the flowers so that he could say that he got us some flowers as well. So that was super sweet. So those are sitting in front of me and blooming and beautiful. And my dad also every year, he gets my mom, my sister, and I flowers, and he delivers them. And so I've got 3 bouquets of flowers sitting in front of me, which is wonderful. And then the kids also got like stickers and some crafts, a little mailbox that they've been playing with, and a stuffed animal, and just minimal chocolate. We've got a little dog, so I try not to get too much chocolate to her. There's no risk in a 2- and 4-year-old dropping the chocolate. I did also, before I get into the stitching, just want to give a huge thank you to Darlene Dion and Bain by Michelle McGraw. They both gave me shout outs since my last video, and huge fans of both of theirs. And so it's just exciting to hear your name when that someone else is watching you who's also a Flosstuber. So thank you guys so much for that. I am huge fans of both of you and watch all of your videos. So let's get into the stitching then. I do have some previous finishes that I grabbed, so they are all Valentine's themed since we just got through Valentine's, or February. And I will keep my February decor or Valentine's decor up through the end of the month, and then I'll switch over to spring and some St. Patrick's Day, which I don't have a lot of St. Patrick's Day yet, but I am gonna try to get working on that soon. So the first finish, or previous finish, I stitched last year. This is Be Mine by the Housewives. And so it is on the, like a blue fabric. I think it's a 32 count, and it was a mystery fabric that I had in my stash. Just filled it in a little basket that was probably from Michael's. And then a rose, it's a felt rose with a little bee. The bee was from Hobby Lobby. And then a double bow. I'm not sure where I got the ribbon from. And then just a little heart. That was an unfinished wood heart, and I painted it red. So I like this one. It sits in top of my tiered tray. Or one of my tiered trays, I should say. So that's that finish. And another Stitching with the Housewives piece. Delivering Roses, I think is what this one was. It was one from last year. Last year? Yeah, last year. And so this is, I think this came from Hobby Lobby as well, or Michael's as well, I think. And so that's the back of it, so you could choose which side you wanted to do it on. And again, it's on that blue fabric that I had, probably a 32 count, and stitched with called for colors. I think this black bow is already a part of it, so I just put a little felt red heart that I think I got from Michael's on it. So those are my 2 Valentine's Housewives pieces that I've stitched. They have so many more though, so lots more to stitch in the coming years. This is a piece I stitched in 2013. It's got the date on it, and it is, I want to say it's by Bent Creek, and it's a snapper, so you can see that it's got a snap in it. And this frame, I have no idea. Hobby Lobby. There you go. it's got it on there. And so all I did was pop it in, and you can see the back, super professional. So it's just attached to mat board, I think, and I've actually just got pins in it to hold it in. So this was before I did any like hot gluing or anything like that. And it just says love, and it's got the heart, so it's kind of, the fabric is darker. You can see the colors better close up. And I'm sure it's stitched with called for colors. So I think this one's really cute too. And it already had all of that attached, so I like it. So it's in my hutch as well. And then I did get my, pick out my February trucking along, because I changed up the colors on it, and I was looking at the calendar crate for February, and I'm thinking I'm probably gonna add some changes to it as well. So for my truck, I changed it to a variegated purple, and it is a DMC variegated color, and I can't remember what the number is. And so then I did not do the chickens, I think, that were up here. I just added an extra heart, and I made it purple to try to kind of tie into the purple that I was doing down here. And then I put in a purple bow to also help in, and then pink, 2 more pink bows, and then just the little felt heart in the middle. And oh, I put a purple rose on the felt heart too. And the house is from Walmart. So Priscilla finished, I think it was a patriotic piece on the house. So I've been just using it for my trucking along. So I think I'm gonna add some purple in, like with maybe some purple roses into the February calendar crate whenever I get around to that one, to kind of match and synchronize with this one. So those are the previous finishes. All right, so moving on to my fully finished. Like I said, I've not been super motivated to do the finishing, so I've really kind of like done them in stages. So I measured them and then cut the board and then picked out backing fabric, and then they just sat there. And then I ironed and they sat there. And then I finally got around to gluing them and kind of just putting them together. So it's been like a staged process. I've not been sitting down and spending like an hour and a half finishing or something like that. It's just been 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but I did get some things done finally. So the first one is my Winterology piece by the Trilogy. And this is the 4th season that I've done, so it was my final one. Ironically, it's the first one that I started, but it's the last one that I finished. And so I had already painted back in, I guess, October or November, because I wanted to switch to my winter decor on time, but I didn't want to keep my fall piece up. So I guess it was probably November. I went ahead and painted the wood pieces that the stitching was going to go on. It's been hanging out on the wall without the stitch pieces, which it looks great without them, but now it finally has these stitch pieces. So here's the finish. And it's a big one. Long, I should say. So let's see if we can get that in there. There we go. And I'll take these off individually and show you guys. But this board is from Hobby Lobby. It was in the spring section last year. And so I chalk painted it gray, the backboard of it, and then I have magnets on here, and then each season has like wood pieces that coordinate with it, or coordinate with the pieces, I should say. So this is probably my favorite one. It's the little penguin and the igloo. So I actually painted the igloo, drew the lines, everything like that with felt markers. And I wanted the penguin to be in the igloo as opposed to, where's the igloo? The igloo in the igloo. So the igloo is actually on a snowflake. And then I've got 2 more snowflakes, and that is the mitten and winter. And then I also hand painted the snow globe, and I put the snowman in the snow globe. So I think this is really cute. I like how the snow globe turned out. And I got these wood pieces. I got all of the ones that I've done for the series from a shop on Etsy, and I will have to look them up because I can't remember what their name is, but they've got tons of unfinished wood pieces, and you can do the width, you can do like the thickness, the width, the size that you want to do. So these, I think I did all 6 inches. And this one is like 6 inches wide, but it's not 6 inches tall. So the piece sticks out a little bit, but it's not too bad. So that is my Winterology finish. So I'm so excited to have another series complete. So that's exciting. Okay, so the next one, I have one more in this series to finish. This is by Heart and Hand, and you'll know it when you see it. Winter Whirligig. By the way, I always forget this part. I stitched the Winterology on, I don't know what the fabric is. I wish I did because it was heaven to stitch on. And the colors I kind of switched up. So I did some variegated, and then I also did some DMC, but it's as close to called for colors as I could get with what was in my stash when I kitted it up. Anyway, so Winter Whirligig. This is stitched on 28 count coffee tea-dyed Monaco. Not with the called for colors. This is a color and cotton, and this is a classic Colorworks, and then most everything is pretty close to the called for colors if I could get it there. So I have one more of these to stitch, and it is the spring piece, so it is in my spring stitching plans. And then it is finished on a piece from Hobby Lobby, so just a little watering can. Yeah, it says flowers and gardens, but I display it that way. And I cut the board a little bit too big, so it's kind of stuck in there, and the edging doesn't work out perfectly, but I think it's still okay. And then I did put some trim around it as well. So I followed Priscilla's finishing tutorial for circle finishes. That I think is on their YouTube, but it's also on Fat Quarter Shop's YouTube as well. So that's how I have finished these ones. So one more to go, and that'll be another series complete. All right, and my final FFO is Snowman Pedestal by Stitching with the Housewives. This is on just a little sign that I think it was from Dollar Tree. It says it's Art Minds, and I think Art Minds is Dollar Tree brand. And it was unfinished, so I painted it white, and then I put backer board with just the dark blue to bring out the blue that's in it. And I did put rickrack on the top and the bottom, and then just a little bit of greenery and a little button that I got from Hobby Lobby in a pack. So I think that one turned out pretty cute as well. I had two buttons that I was going to do that were snowmen, one on each side, but then I decided to just go with the single one. I think it looked better that way. But it had a red scarf too, so I went with the blue scarf. So that is the end of my winter stitching for now. I've moved into, I finished up my Valentine's, and now I've got a start on a St. Patrick's piece, and then I'm going to start working in on my spring pieces as well. Oh, I forgot February 9 patch. Hold on, it's hanging right here. I'm back. Okay, so I finished February 9 patch by Primrose Cottage Stitches as well. Totally forgot about that. So this is the finish for that one. I started the March one this morning. So this is also from Art Minds, which I'm going to go with. It's a Dollar Tree little box, and then just some fabric. And I actually cut the fabric a little bit smaller than I wanted to, but you can still see it. So super cute. I love the series. They're just cute and quick and fun. So I've got to get the April, May, and June that came out recently to finish up that series, or the first 6 months of the series. Okay, so finishes. There's a bunch of those. Let's see if I can find them. They're also mostly small. So the first one is Vintage Truck January by Erica Arndt of Confessions of a Homeschooler. So she has an online shop, and she has posted, I want to say she started with August truck maybe. I've only done the January one, and I don't have the next patterns. But I talked to my dad about a finishing piece, and so I wanted to go ahead and stitch it up and get it put onto the sticky board or mat board that I use, and then I'm going to turn it over to him so that he can know what the dimensions of the piece are and how to coordinate it. So I don't know when I'm going to stitch the rest of them, but I at least have the first one done so that he can work on the finishing piece, and then I can stitch as we go along. This I stitched on 25 count coffee tea dyed Lugana. So there's the piece, and I did use the called for colors, except it called for a DMC that I did not have, and it was a random number. That's not normal for the silver that's kind of in there. There's a little bit of silver like in here and around the snowflakes. So I used just a piece that I thought kind of coordinated with it. So that is that piece. It is going to go on to this backer, and it needed a little bit of extra room for the finishing piece down here, so I made it a little bit bigger. Hopefully this will work. If not, then I will do something else once I get the finishing piece and make it work. Okay, so that is another winter piece that I finished. This is Pinker and Pumpkin Love Quilt Star that I did. And it's on a 28 count pink Monaco with the called for DMC. And it was super cute. So in between like work meetings, I would just fill in and stitch, and it was really easy to do. So I love that one. And I don't know how I'm gonna finish it. So any of my pieces that I need to do pillow finishes for, they're just hanging out because I wanna watch some tutorials, especially like Vonna Pfeiffer tutorials, and get some practice in. And I just don't have the time to sit down and watch those and sit down with my sewing machine. I think also part of my lack of motivation is my craft area is a hot mess. I was hoping to get it cleaned up after Christmas and then got sick, so that didn't happen. But then we're also gonna do some renovation to our basement, which is where that is. And so I'm kind of like, why go ahead and organize everything when it's just gonna get moved again and reorganized, because all of my stuff will be in a different place. So I've just not been motivated to get down there and organize it, and therefore to get down there and finish, because everything is scattered and it's just a mess. So maybe once we get that done, sometime later in the year, hopefully I'll get more motivation to get down there and organize and everything. Okay, so my next finish is I had started working on a spring piece, and this is one that I had carried over from last year that I started during Mania, I think. And this is Spring Let's Talk Chalk by Hands On Design. And it is the circle piece. So I stitched this on 28 count black Monaco with the called for DMC, and I bought because it's supposed to go in a hoop, or that's how she finished it, and I want to finish it in a hoop. So I bought the 4-inch hoops that she recommends, and not realizing that she stitched hers on 32 count black. And so when I got the 4-inch, I was like, no, that's not gonna fit. So I had to go and I got a 6-inch. So the 6-inch I think is going to be much better. I could not find a 5-inch. I think a 5-inch would have worked too probably. But this will just have a little bit more around the edges, and that's fine. So I've picked out the fabric that I'm gonna do, and I've cut it and ironed it and everything to do around the hoop, but I need to watch her video as well, and I need some acid-free tape, I think, to get that started. And then she did do some little leaves, I think, maybe they were tulips, that she put on here as well to finish it, and they were stitched on the perforated paper. So I want to do those as well, and I haven't finished those up. So hopefully I can get this one done in the next few weeks. But it's at least a finish, and we'll work on getting it to be a fully finished piece. Okie dokie. Next up, I'm going to save that one because that's a whip too, so we'll save it. It's a combo. This is my Fall on the Farm by Little House Needleworks. And there's the pattern. And I am stitching these individually. So my first one, I think I've already shown this one at some point. This is the first one that I finished. And I went ahead and cut it out. I have not cut this one out yet, but it will be. So this is the second one. And this is with the called for colors. It is stitched on, let me get that, 32 count mushroom Lugano. 28 count, it's not 32 count. I wrote that down wrong. It's 28 count mushroom Lugano. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna finish them. So they are individual. I'm hoping as I keep stitching them that I'll get some inspiration. But I was super tardy to the party because mine came in just on Friday. And I started it Sunday morning, finished it Monday night because I was so excited to get this piece and to stitch it. And I loved it. It was such a fun one to work on, especially while watching the Olympics. It was perfect. So that is my finish there. And I've got the next one pre-ordered. So whenever it comes in, I will get started on it. So far, I'm keeping up with the series, which is really exciting for me to keep up with the series so far. Okay. So I will go into, this is a finish and a whip. So it's my March calendar crates. I am still working on the big piece, but I finished the small one. Let's see, there it is. Finally. It's small, it shouldn't take me long, but I'm distracted by a whole lot of other things. So I finally got it done. So there it is. And stitch with called for colors. So I have started on the big piece now, and I really need to get working on this one because I want to get it done. And there's still a long way to go, and my needle's in there, so I'm sorry. It's got my place held where I'm at. So I've just started on the crate, and y'all, I made this piece big enough. Like, look at how big that piece is. This is the bottom of it. Can you see what I did wrong? I was looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, why is there so much space down there? So I decided to start in the middle to make sure I had enough space, because these ones I tend to not stitch correctly. And again, I made a mistake. I started in the middle of the crate. So I started in the middle vertically, but I didn't start in the middle horizontally. So this should have been further down, and it's not. But I counted, and if my counting is correct, I should have like an inch at the top, maybe a little bit more. So it still should be okay because I had extra fabric, so thank goodness for that. But when I found that mistake, I was sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be starting this one over, and I don't wanna start it over. So I think I'm gonna be okay, which is good. It's just gonna be a close fit. So note to self, when starting a piece, make sure you're starting in the actual middle, not just the middle one way. So just a public service announcement and reminder. And a reminder that I am not capable of starting a piece where I probably should. But it's gonna be okay. It's gonna work out. All right, so I am stitching along with the Nap Time Stitcher for Stitch the Winter Olympics. And this has been a lot of fun. I haven't posted every day, but I've still been stitching on something related to the post. Now, I didn't get any stitching in yesterday because I was trying to do some finishing. So yesterday's the only day that I've really fallen behind. And today I think it is figure skating, which is stitch something with words. So calendar crate says words. So I'm probably gonna be stitching on that tonight with what time I have to stitch, because I have some meetings tonight. So anyhow, that's been a lot of fun. If you've not been following along, you totally should, and go follow her as well. Okay, so this morning, this is the 9 patch, and it doesn't have words. It's not related, but my point was there, I think that I have a lot of whips because I've been trying to mix it up a little bit with what I've been stitching on relating to the prompts for that. This one's not related. This is just a St. Patrick's Day that I'm trying to get done. Let me pull up the picture for it. Whoops, wrong picture. And this is the March 9 patch by Primrose Cottage Stitches. So I'm trying to get my next one ready to go. And I just got a quick little start this morning on the border. This is a mystery 28 count. I know I've got a lot of those, but I just have stashed from years that are just not identified. And I am using the called for DMC on this. So that's just a little start. Like I said, these stitch up really quick, and so I don't think it'll take too long to get that one done. And I've got some other like Pinker and Pumpkin, St. Patrick's Day pieces that I want to do, and some other freebies, I think. So most of the St. Patrick's Day ones that I'm looking at are probably going to end up being like freebies or something like that. Okay. The other thing that I am doing is cross stitch camp, and so I will show that piece with Colorado Cross Stitcher. And the prompt is to stitch something with one color. So I picked my next-ish ornament. This is the third ornament. I'm still working on the second one. In the Just Cross Stitch magazine, because one of the things that I wanted to do this year is stitch my way through a Just Cross Stitch magazine. And so I picked the 2021 issue to start with, and I've got one done and I've got 2 in progress. So the one that I'm working on for Cross Stitch Camp is by MTV Designs, and it is Christmas in My Heart. So that is the piece. And then that is, I don't want to show the pattern's on the same page. That is my progress. So I have finished the border. So all I have left are the words, 3 trees in the middle, and 2 snowflakes. And I'm stitching it with Licorice Red, Classic Colorworks, and this is on 32 count Brash Lugana by Picture This Plus. So I'll show that again. I was very excited when the border met up. So I started in the top left corner, top right corner, and circled my way around, and it met up, and I was just holding my breath. So I was very thankful that it worked out. So that'll be finished before the end of the month. All right, so the next one is my ornament, my other ornament that I'm working on from Just Cross Stitch. And let me find that. Let's see. Oh, it is after that page. Whoops. I'm just going to show this cover photo because there's no pattern. And it is by Punochka, and it's the Christmas polar bear. So that's the little guy that I'm working on. And I got a little bit of stitching in on him on one of the days where you're supposed to stitch something with an animal. So I worked on his face. So I'd already finished the border up there. I came down and did some of the white from the ornaments, and then I started working on his face. So once I finish my cross stitch camp piece, this will be the ornament that I will be focusing on to get done before I move on to another ornament for the magazine. And it is stitched on 32 count Earthen Lugana by Picture This Plus. And this one I had to put, I don't know why, I just couldn't, I wasn't stitching very well, so I had to put it in my Q-snap, but I've only got part of it to where I'm holding on to it, and just the way that I'm holding it helps me for this fabric. I'm good on the 32 count Brash Lugana, but I don't know why that one's giving me trouble. I don't know, but it just worked out well for me to grab that. Okay, so I have put a few stitches into this one. This is a patriotic piece that I'm working on. That was a whip from last year. Not a ton of progress on this one, but a little bit. This is Liberty Lane Pillow by Manny DiDonna, and she's got some great market pieces that are coming out that I'm excited about. So this is the piece. And I've got another series from her that I already have that I'm hoping to start. Start with the spring piece here in a couple days, hopefully. So I finished the windows, the door, and then I started in on the flag that is the roof of the White House. So that's where I'm at with that one. So I do want to get this one done so I can work on another patriotic piece that is in my lineup that I'm excited about. And then I had a doctor's appointment where I got to sit for like an hour and wait. And I've never really been bothered by that, especially when I can bring stitching or reading. So I was actually really excited that it took that long. The kids were at preschool, so I had plenty of time. I wasn't too worried about the time, and I just had to sit there and stitch. And it was great. So I picked up this one. This is my summer piece from the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine by Stitching with Housewives. Summer, Buffalo Plaid Summer is what it's called. And I am stitching this on a mystery piece of, I think it's 32 count. Like a greenish dyed fabric, and I finished the border. So what I had done is I filled in all of the white parts, and then I took the gray and just took that with me and stitched all the way around it. And that was because I didn't need the pattern for it. You just fill it in. And so with this one, I'm not going to fill in the black because they stitched theirs on black, so there's black that comes through, but I'm going to leave it as a like green, gray, and white check. So I'm ready to start in on the words and then the flowers and the beescape. So I'm excited to have the border done because those borders are a beast. There's just a lot of stitches in them. And this will only be my second one that I have stitched. So I still have a lot more to do with them because they've got seasonal pieces besides, or like holiday pieces besides just the seasonal pieces. So another one that I picked up for Cross Stitch Winter Camp is Little House Needleworks ABCs, Autumn ABCs. And do I have the cover photo? There it is. So that's the one. I've started the winter one. I haven't started summer or spring, and I haven't finished winter. This is on 28 count even weave coffee tea dyed from Hobby Lobby because it was a long enough piece to be able to fit this on it. And so what I did that day was to stitch something with a circle. So I stitched these little apples. I filled in the door and the windows, and then I stitched this blue flower as well for that day. So the next part will be to move on to the next section, which I think is just leaves. So that should be pretty quick to stitch. So this is my fall focus piece until I can get it done. Trying to motivate myself to get a finish on this one because it's been a whip since 2020, I think. So I need to get moving on these whips. I think that's all my whips. Sweet. Yeah, because I've had a lot of small finishes and I've not had as much stitching time in the evenings. Like I said, I had a week where I got some of these things knocked out, and then since then it's just been like 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day of stitching, so not a ton. I am doing good on my no haul. So I did get my subscriptions in the mail. So I got the February Club for Floss Fix, and it is, what is it called? Taffy Pink. So those are the colors. And I don't think I have any of these. Creamy Peach, Miss Madeline, Sponge Sugar, Lavender Louise, Sugar and Spice, and Marvelous. I don't think I have any of these, so that's fun to get pieces that you don't have. And then I also got my April calendar crate from Fat Quarter Shop, and it just comes with the floss and the pattern because I have the fabric. Because March is not done, this one's not getting done this year. That's okay. I'm kind of like working on an every other month basis at this point with my calendar crates. And that's okay. And then I do have my birthday start. So like I said, my birthday is next week, and I did need some fabric for that. Let me see if I've got the piece pulled up. I don't think I do. Let me pull it up real quick. Just bear with me. But I got the fabric in from 123 Stitch. Where is it? Here it is. It is going to be Turtle Quaker by Owl Forest Embroidery. So that's the piece. And I love turtles. I've never stitched anything with turtles, so I'm really excited to start working on this. And I've seen someone else working on it and been following along with their progress. So the fabric that I picked is 28 count Sage Lugana. So just a nice, like, muted tone. And then I showed the floss last time, but this will be what it will look like on there. So the only concern I have is with this one, there's some lighter aspects to that, and so hopefully it'll still show up okay. But those are the colors, and they're just beautiful, and I'm really excited about that one. I had misplaced my floss, and this came, it is the Owl Forest Embroidery Floss, and they are in Russia. And so I was having a moment, and my husband was just like, why are you concerned? I was like, you don't understand. This came from really far away. It took a really long time to get here, and it's for my birthday start, and I really want to find it. So thankfully I found it. But I was definitely having a moment of panic trying to find it. So I'm going to, for plans, start working on my spring stitching. Like I said, I've only got the one piece so far finished, and so I've got some others that are lined up that I've pulled out that I want to get done. March calendar crate is going to be a priority to get done. I feel like I say that every time. My calendar crate is a priority to get done, but that's where I'm at. They just take me a little bit longer to stitch because I've got all these other things going on. Do some St. Patrick's Day stitching, have my birthday start. I'm going to finish with the Winter Olympics. I think they finish up in just a couple days. I think we only got a couple days left of them. So try to keep up with that and then finish my camp piece. So that is kind of where I am at as far as my stitching. I hope everyone has a great next few weeks. I'm going to pop in here when I can. I don't know when that'll be. I guess one thing I would ask you guys is, do you prefer to see your favorite Flosstubers every like 2 weeks, or when they can pop in and when they actually have stuff to finish? So I guess it would be longer in between if you have more things to show, as opposed to like a shorter period of time with not as much stitching. So what is your preference there? I personally like to come in here when I've got enough to show you to fill up, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we're at about that time frame. I don't want to come in here and not have a lot to finish or to show you, because I know that's what we're here for, is the stitching. So I want to be able to show you stitching, and so that's kind of where I'm at. So that's why it's been 3 weeks. It may be another 3 weeks before I'm back on here, but I'm always excited to be able to be on here and just check in with everybody. So like I said, I hope everyone's having a great February, staying healthy. Hopefully you'll get some warm weather soon. We're kind of in and out with the warm weather. I think today is going to be nice, but then tomorrow it's going to be cold again. So it's just kind of fluctuating, which does not help with like the sickness and the allergies and everything going on. We need some warm weather to come in. So we are looking forward to spring and to be outside a lot more. So anyways, I will sign off for today. Have a great next couple weeks, and I will see you soon.